Ladies and gentlemen, life is a journey, and along the way we encounter all kinds of people, some who lift us up and others who weigh us down. The ones who cheer us on, those are the blessings. But the ones who drain your energy, test your patience, and disrupt your peace, those are the lessons. In 2025, we're not wasting time on drama, arguments, or proving our worth to people who don't value us. This year we move differently. We don't react, we just cut them off, silently. Silence is a powerful response, one that carries more weight than words ever could. In a world filled with noise, where everyone seems to have an opinion or a reaction, choosing silence can be a revolutionary act. It's not about weakness or submission, it's about control. When you decide to remain silent in the face of negativity, you are reclaiming your power. You are refusing to let someone else dictate your emotions or your actions. Silence allows you to rise above the chaos, to operate from a place of strength and self-awareness instead of impulsiveness. Reacting is easy. It's human nature to want to defend ourselves, to argue, to prove our point. But when you react, you hand over your energy to the very thing that's trying to disrupt your peace. Think about how much time and energy is wasted on arguments that lead nowhere, on defending yourself to people who have already made up their minds about you. Silence, on the other hand, conserves your energy. It allows you to focus on what truly matters rather than getting caught up in battles that don't deserve your attention. When you choose silence, you communicate something profound. You're saying that your peace is more important than winning an argument. You're saying that you refuse to be pulled into someone else's storm. And in doing so, you gain the upper hand. Silence is not an absence of power, it is the presence of discipline and restraint. It shows that you are in control of yourself, that you don't need to lower yourself to the level of those who seek to provoke you. Silence also speaks volumes in a way that words never can. It forces people to confront their own actions, their own words, without the distraction of your reaction. When someone lashes out at you and is met with silence, they are left to sit with their own behavior. They have nothing to feed off of, no response to fuel their negativity. This can be incredibly disarming. In some cases, it might even lead them to reflect on their actions. But even if it doesn't, your silence protects you. It keeps you from getting dragged into a cycle of negativity that does nothing but drain you. Another important aspect of silence is that it gives you time to think, to process, and to respond, not react when the time is right. When emotions are high, reacting in the moment often leads to saying or doing things you might later regret. Silence gives you the space to assess the situation, to decide whether it even warrants a response, and if so, how to respond in a way that aligns with your values and goals. It's about being intentional rather than impulsive. Silence is also a form of self-respect. When you refuse to engage with negativity, you're sending a message to yourself and others that your energy and your peace are valuable. You're saying, I don't have time for this and I won't let it affect me. This doesn't mean you ignore everything or avoid confrontation when it's necessary. It means you choose your battles wisely, you reserve your energy for the things and people that truly matter, rather than wasting it on those who don't. Choosing silence doesn't mean you're weak or passive. On the contrary, it takes immense strength to hold your tongue when every part of you wants to react. It takes courage to walk away from a situation where you feel provoked or misunderstood. But in doing so, you protect your energy, your peace, and your focus. You show that you are unshakable, that no one has the power to disrupt your inner world without your permission. In relationships, silence can serve as a boundary. It can be a way of saying, I won't engage with behavior that disrespects me or violates my boundaries. It's a way of standing firm without escalating the situation. It's not about being cold or unkind, it's about protecting yourself. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your own well-being is to disengage from toxic dynamics. Silence allows you to do that in a way that is dignified and effective. Silence also creates space for clarity. When you step back and stop reacting, you can see the situation for what it truly is. You can evaluate whether the person or issue even deserves your attention. You can decide whether engaging would be productive or if it would only prolong the negativity. This clarity is invaluable. It allows you to make decisions that are aligned with your values and your goals, rather than decisions that are driven by emotion. In a society that often equates noise with strength and silence with weakness, choosing silence is a radical act. It's a way of reclaiming your power, of saying, I don't need to prove myself to anyone. I know my worth and I won't waste my energy on things that don't align with it. It's about operating from a place of confidence and self-assurance rather than insecurity or fear. Silence is not about avoidance, it's about strategy. It's about choosing your response, your battles, and your focus with intention. Cutting off toxic people is an act of self-respect and prioritizes your peace over their chaos. It's a decision that many struggle with because we are often conditioned to believe that maintaining relationships, no matter how harmful, is a virtue. However, when you continue to allow negativity and toxicity into your life, you are choosing to compromise your well-being. Letting go of toxic individuals is not about anger or revenge, it is about valuing yourself enough to protect your mental and emotional health. Toxic relationships, whether they are with friends, family, or colleagues, drain your energy. They create stress, tension, and often lead to self-doubt. The weight of these relationships can hold you back from reaching your full potential. Every time you engage with someone who brings negativity into your life, you are giving them power over your peace. The energy you expend trying to navigate their drama or manage their impact on you is energy that could be directed toward your growth and happiness. One of the most difficult aspects of cutting people off is the guilt that often comes with it. You might feel like you're abandoning someone, or you might worry about how others will perceive you. But guilt is not a reason to hold on to something that harms you. In fact, the guilt you feel is often a reflection of how much you care about others. It shows that you are empathetic and compassionate. But empathy does not mean sacrificing your well-being for the sake of someone who consistently disrespects or undermines you. When you choose to let go of toxic individuals, you are making a declaration to yourself that your peace is non-negotiable. You are affirming that you deserve relationships that uplift and support you, not ones that bring you down. This is an act of self-respect, and it sets the tone for how others will treat you. When you set boundaries and enforce them, you show others that you value yourself and won't tolerate being treated poorly. It's important to remember that not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people come into your life to teach you lessons, to challenge you, or to push you to grow. But when their presence becomes more harmful than helpful, it's time to let them go. This doesn't mean that the relationship wasn't valuable at one point or that you don't appreciate the good times you shared. It simply means that you've outgrown it, and that's okay. Cutting off toxic people isn't about punishing them, it's about protecting yourself. It's about recognizing that you cannot change someone else's behavior, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to remove yourself from situations and relationships that are harmful to you. This is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-preservation. Letting go of toxic individuals can also create space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. When you are no longer weighed down by negativity, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You can invest your time and energy into people who genuinely care for you, who support you, and who bring positivity into your life. These are the relationships that help you grow, that inspire you, and that make life richer. Another benefit of cutting off toxic people is the clarity it brings. When you step away from toxic relationships, you can see things more clearly. You begin to understand how much of your stress and unhappiness was tied to these individuals. This clarity allows you to focus on your goals, your passions, and your personal growth without the constant distraction of negativity. It empowers you to take control of your life and create an environment that fosters happiness and success. It's also important to recognize that cutting off toxic people doesn't mean you have to do it in a dramatic or confrontational way. Sometimes the best approach is simply to distance yourself quietly. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone or justify your decision. Your actions speak for themselves. By prioritizing your peace and walking away, you are sending a clear message you value yourself too much to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you. Letting go of toxic people is not always easy, especially if they are deeply ingrained in your life. But it is necessary for your well-being. It requires strength, courage, and a commitment to yourself. It means choosing to walk away from chaos and drama and stepping into a life of peace and purpose. It's about recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. When you make this choice, you are not only protecting yourself, but also setting an example for others. You are showing that it is possible to choose peace even when it's difficult. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Learning to let go is essential for personal growth and elevation. People often cling to relationships and connections out of fear, familiarity, or obligation, even when those relationships have run their course. It's a natural human instinct to hold on to what feels safe and known, but growth demands that we make space for change. Letting go isn't about bitterness or rejection. It's about understanding that some people are only meant to be part of your journey for a specific season. Once that season ends, holding on to them can hinder your progress and theirs. Life is constantly evolving, and so are we. The person you were 5 years ago isn't the same as the person you are today, and the same goes for the people around you. Relationships that once felt aligned and supportive may no longer serve your current path. This doesn't diminish the value those connections had in the past. It simply means they no longer fit the person you are becoming. Growth requires that we assess our surroundings and ensure they support the direction we're headed. One of the hardest lessons in life is recognizing when to let go. This isn't just about romantic relationships. It applies to friendships, professional connections, and even family dynamics. Sometimes we hold on out of loyalty, believing that we owe people our time and energy simply because of history. But loyalty should never come at the expense of your peace, your goals, or your self-worth. True loyalty is reciprocal. It builds you up, not tears you down. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring about someone. It doesn't mean you forget the memories or disregard the impact they had on your life. It simply means you're choosing to prioritize your growth and well-being. It's about understanding that your journey is unique and not everyone is meant to walk the entire path with you. Some people are there to teach you lessons, to challenge you, or to help you see things from a new perspective. Once their role is fulfilled, it's okay to release them with gratitude and move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, clinging to relationships that no longer serve you can create unnecessary tension and resistance in your life. It's like trying to force a piece of a puzzle into a space where it doesn't belong. The harder you push, the more frustrated you become. By letting go, you allow the natural flow of life to guide you. You open yourself up to new opportunities, new connections, and new experiences that are better aligned with who you are now and who you are becoming. Growth often requires sacrifice, and one of the greatest sacrifices is leaving behind what feels familiar. Familiarity provides comfort, but it can also create stagnation. To grow, you must be willing to step into the unknown, to release the safety net of old relationships and patterns. This doesn't mean you burn bridges or cut ties with everyone from your past. It means you evaluate each connection honestly and determine whether it still aligns with your values, goals, and purpose. The process of letting go can be painful, especially when you care deeply about the person or when the relationship has been a significant part of your life. It's natural to feel a sense of loss, to grieve the end of a connection. But this grief is a necessary part of the process. It allows you to honor what the relationship meant to you while creating space for new growth. Pain is temporary, but the benefits of releasing what no longer serves you are lasting. Letting go is not a sign of failure or weakness. On the contrary, it requires immense strength and courage. It's easier to hold on to what you know, even when it's not good for you, than to face the uncertainty of change. But true growth comes from stepping out of your comfort zone, from making difficult choices that prioritize your well-being and your future. It's about trusting that what lies ahead is greater than what you're leaving behind. When you let go of relationships that no longer align with your journey, you make room for the people who are meant to walk alongside you. These are the individuals who inspire you, challenge you in healthy ways, and support your growth. They bring positivity, encouragement, and alignment into your life. By releasing what doesn't serve you, you create space for these meaningful connections to enter and flourish. Learning to let go also teaches you to value yourself. It's a declaration that you are worthy of peace, happiness, and fulfillment. It's a reminder that you have the right to choose who and what you allow into your life. Letting go is not about rejecting others, it's about embracing yourself and the journey you are on. It's about understanding that growth sometimes means leaving people behind, not out of malice, but out of necessity. Boundaries are not about exclusion, but about protecting your energy and focusing on what truly matters. Setting boundaries is one of the most important acts of self-care, yet it's often misunderstood. Some people see boundaries as walls that shut others out or as a sign of selfishness. In reality, boundaries are a way to ensure that you can give your best to the things and people that truly matter without depleting yourself in the process. They are about preserving your emotional, mental, and physical well-being while allowing space for meaningful connections and pursuits. When you set boundaries, you are defining what you will and won't accept in your life. This is not about controlling others, it's about having control over your own life. You can't dictate how people behave, but you can decide how you respond to them and what kind of behavior you allow in your space. This is a powerful act of self-respect. By setting boundaries, you are saying, I value myself and my time too much to let others take advantage of me or drain my energy. Boundaries are also a form of clarity. They let others know where you stand and what you need in order to feel safe and respected in a relationship. This clarity can prevent misunderstandings and resentment. When you communicate your boundaries clearly, you give others the opportunity to understand and respect them. Those who truly care about you will appreciate your honesty and will honor your limits. Those who don't respect your boundaries are often the ones who benefited from your lack of them, and recognizing this can be an eye-opening experience. Protecting your energy is one of the main reasons boundaries are so crucial. Your energy is finite, and how you use it determines the quality of your life. When you say yes to things that drain you, you are saying no to the things that truly matter. Boundaries help you prioritize. They allow you to focus on your goals, your passions, and your well-being without being distracted or overwhelmed by demands that don't align with your values. One of the biggest challenges in setting boundaries is the fear of disappointing others. Many people struggle with saying no because they don't want to be seen as unkind or uncooperative. But saying no is not about being difficult, it's about being honest. It's about recognizing your limits and honoring them. When you constantly say yes to others at the expense of yourself, you are not only doing yourself a disservice, but also creating a dynamic where others may come to expect more from you than you can give. Setting boundaries requires courage, especially when it comes to people who are used to you always saying yes. You might face pushback or resistance, but this is not a reason to back down. It's a sign that the boundary is necessary. People who respect you will adjust, and those who don't may distance themselves. This might feel difficult at first, but it ultimately creates space for healthier and more supportive relationships in your life. Focusing on what truly matters is another critical aspect of boundaries. Life is full of distractions, and it's easy to get caught up in things that don't contribute to your happiness or success. Boundaries help you stay focused. They remind you of your priorities and keep you from getting sidetracked by things that don't align with your goals. Whether it's limiting the time you spend on social media, saying no to unnecessary commitments, or distancing yourself from toxic relationships, boundaries are a way to stay aligned with what's most important to you. Boundaries are not just about protecting yourself from negativity, they are also about creating space for positivity. When you set limits, you free up time and energy to invest in the things and people that uplift and inspire you. You create an environment where you can thrive, where your relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, and where your energy is directed toward what brings you joy and fulfillment. It's also important to remember that boundaries are not fixed. They can change over time as you grow and your circumstances evolve. What you need today might not be what you need a year from now, and that's okay. The key is to remain self-aware and willing to adjust your boundaries as necessary. This flexibility ensures that your boundaries continue to serve you and support your well-being. Boundaries are not about shutting people out or avoiding responsibility. They are about living intentionally. They allow you to make choices that align with your values, to focus on what truly matters, and to protect the energy you need to live a fulfilling life. Setting and maintaining boundaries is an act of self-love, one that allows you to show up fully for yourself and for the people and pursuits that truly deserve your time and energy.